Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and fingers crossed, I'm hoping that my audio is actually better, because I realized that my settings actually started to pick up my laptop audio instead of my mic audio. Not too sure when that changed. But yeah, today I have a very specific goal. Aside from woodpecker method and my classical grind to 2500, which I realized I've been quite on and off. Um, I've been working on my Caro-Kann repertoire, right? And basically, I found that I am still, I still have this huge hole in my repertoire, which I've always had with the Caro-Kann, and that is how to face the Shirov Gambit in the advanced variation. And this Shirov Gambit is so annoying because it's not even good, but I always struggle against it because you have to like sack a pawn or something. So my plan this stream is in 42 minutes we are going to have a solution against the Shirov Gambit and not worry about it anymore. So what is the Shirov Gambit? The Shirov Gambit is against this bishop f5 move, and it starts with the move knight c3. And to my understanding, the idea of it is to play with the move g4 now, and then play the move knight e2. And the idea is to play a very quick knight f4, and you have to be very, very careful. I think like the main line is to play c5, and then on knight f4 you have to play h5 and sack a pawn or something. I might even be wrong with that, I don't know. So what we're going to do a mix of using the opening reference. Let's see if this does it automatically. I'm not sure it will. Oh, hello. I see the bar at the bottom doing something. So okay, we got there. But I probably slowed it down just now. Oh, okay, I need to move my camera. Okay, let's try that. So yeah, basically I want to see what options I really have. Ideally, I want to avoid the main line if possible. So let's actually turn on my engine and let's see if my computer completely crashes. It might. This is nice prep against Michael. Can't wait to see you in the rapid play. Absolutely, Arjun. I look forward to it as well. So yeah, the fact that c5 is equal. Also, welcome to the stream. But yeah, the fact that c5 is equal shows me that like I really don't want to be playing c5, because that means that there will be white players who have super prepped this Shirov Gambit, and I'm pretty sure this is the way to play it as well. After knight c3, yeah, e6 is the only move, g4, bishop g6, and knight e2. This is like the main move by far. Interesting how knight c2 is also a move. That's kind of scary, but probably we can just look at knight g2 for now and then go from there, if this will load. So there we go. So okay, at this moment it looks like we can only play the move c5 if we want to play for an advantage, but I am very curious about this knight e7 move, because I've basically been trying to make knight e7 work in the main line against the short variation in the Caro-Kann. So if I can stick to this knight e7, this would be very easy to remember. So I think let's even, I kind of want to take a look at this knight e7. In addition, h5 looks kind of nice as well. The fact that h5 is playable, this definitely feels nice. But I'm looking at the line. Are we not losing a pawn there? Looks very dodgy. Let's have a look. So if h5 here, the nice news is that white only has one move. They have to play knight f4. And then of course knight e7 is very natural to not have to take back with the pawn. And I realize my computer is going very slow as we try and get to the bottom of this. So let's have a look at this line very quickly. But this time they already have a few different moves. That's a little bit annoying. I would love to be able to just play a sideline and be done with it. On depth 40, it looks like... So I can see... Okay, actually, let's Like SSS recommended last stream, let's actually just put my camera up here so we're not blocking anything. So we can see that on depth 40 of Stockfish 16.1, which is the Stockfish I'm using, we've got this evaluation is 0.5. So it's definitely a thing that people have tried to study in the past. And how does this go? So at first glance, if we can establish a knight on f5, I'd be happy, but I'm scared of the move like bishop d3. Okay, let's follow this main move of queen g4 and see if we can like somehow make this work. Because I am kind of interested why this isn't like a bigger advantage for white if they're a whole pawn up. So okay, we have to play c5 now. They have to take, okay. Doesn't feel easy for white at all. Because I'm very curious how we're able to play this move rook takes h5 in like 4 moves, if my computer will ever load. Because like why can't they just take on g6? That's my question. So apparently castle's queenside is the top move here, in which we just play rook takes h5 and we win back our pawn, which looks like a dream scenario, to be honest. We get this Garganitsa structure and we're not down a pawn. So what's the problem with this? Like, honestly, this is already looking really, really promising. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm already extremely happy. The fact that we've managed to avoid all of this h4 nonsense, this is like exactly what I'm after. So I really want to see this hg6 and see what happens there. So we can see hg6, knight takes g6, bishop g3, and d4. Wow, if d4 is the only move there, that's a very sharp continuation. So we're literally a pawn down here. Ah, but the point is e5 is dropping, right? But we're opening up the position when we have a lack of a bishop pair, so that does feel a bit concerning. But maybe it's completely fine. I like the fact that rook h4 is coming in as well. What do you play against, the Panov or the Fantasy? So if I remember correctly, Panov, I've got a really interesting line where if you imagine e4, c6, d4, d5, takes, c4, you can even play knight c6 and it leads to some interesting positions. I've even got an Alapin transposition there, so that's kind of interesting. And then against the Fantasy, I can either play Garganitsa, or I even have like this line that Yasser plays, which is really interesting, which I'd never seen before. But that's kind of interesting. But yeah, really cool that this is actually playable. You know what? I'm even happy already. Like we might even be able to do something different this stream, because I am so happy with this. Because actually, I think basically I played a blitz game earlier today. I realized that I'm not playing enough, so I started trying to play some more. And oh, is this gonna work? I wonder. We'll see. But yeah, I found that yeah, like someone played this Sheriff Gambit and it pissed me off. I lost so badly. So bishop g6 and on knight e2, which is by far the main move. Let me just double check. This is definitely Sheriff Gambit, right? g4, knight e2, yeah. So at this moment, oh lovely. h5 is played in 2% of games and such a nice win rate for black. That's exactly what I want. h5 here. They only have one move. So knight f4, and let's have a look at the alternative. So if they play g5, yeah, we basically play knight e7. And now play for c5. And this seems to be like always the case in my repertoire. Knight e7 first, and then c5. And this is also working very nicely. If they take on h5, we can just plant our bishop on f5. This looks really good. And if they take on g6, we can take with a knight temporarily. I'll just write this here so I'm not alarmed when I look at my prep. Did I really spell this wrong? Oh, I think I missed temporarily. Okay, yeah, I just missed out an R for no reason. Okay, so knight h4 is the move. Queen g4 is the main response. And then we need to hit with c5. And dc5 is only move. So I want to look at these bishop d3 ideas. Although here it doesn't make much sense when there's maybe c4. Although, okay, it should be checked anyway. And also at this moment, what happens. But yeah, dc5 is the main move, knight c6. And then, what was the engine saying? Engine was like saying some knight f4 or something. Bishop f4, I mean, and then we were playing g6 here. This is the strong move. And the point being is castles was main move, but they can also take. But then we get this comp with bishop g3 and knight e5. Yeah, it's really interesting how this has been played before. So this is like only move, and then bishop b5, knight c6 back. And then there was like some idea to play rook h4, which looks very cool. Queen h4 is playable as well. I wonder how the endgame goes if they were to trade. Oh, that's just much better for black. Okay. That's cool. That's very cool. And yeah, if they castle immediately, then rook h5, and we just get the most dream Gurgenitsa structure. Oh, they can play very dynamically with knight e4. Okay, then this actually needs to be checked. I thought it was just giving like classic Gurgenitsa kind of compensation, where okay, zeros on depth 54. This is very promising. Very promising. Yeah, so basically g6 and then castles queenside was the main move. Why did you stop playing the Sicilian? It's just too difficult. Like, I just felt like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it ready in time. And the thing is, I think all of my experience over the last year or so has mostly been with my 1c3 repertoire or the Gurgenitsa modern. And the structures are just more similar to Caro-Kann. So like all of the like kind of expertise I've gained, it feels easier to adjust to a Caro-Kann than to adjust to a Sicilian. Like Sicilian was good when my repertoire was like Reti, Sicilian, Benoni. This was like a really good, nice mix. Well, it's not a mix, right? They're kind of like related to each other. But I feel like 1c3 and Gurgenitsa, Caro-Kann, they're all more similar. So, okay, knight e4. And this definitely needs to be checked. So this has been visited 128 times in the history of chess. So there are 128 other players, or 127 other players who have had the same idea of playing with h5. So interesting. God, we got even back in the day of Stockfish 11. If I can drag this cursor, which is not going to let me because my engine is dying. When was that? Oh, 2024. Someone using Stockfish 11? That's kind of funny. Bishop g7 on depth 30. Yeah, it looks like Bishop g7 is definitely the move. So what happens here? At least this is very Gurgenitsa, putting pressure on e5. And now king b1. I wonder how many Share of Gambit players are going to know this. This also feels very nice. This already feels very nice. I feel like I could play this quite well. Oh, we are pawn down. We're pawn down, right? So king b1 and knight e5 needed. I'm kind of curious as well, actually. How did bishop e7 go? I mean, in a way, I kind of like the pawn being here, although I can appreciate how knight d6 might be quite scary. But generally in the Gurgenitsa, you want to put the bishop on e7 and the king on g7. So what's the reason why bishop e7? It's probably something very concrete. If I can get my king to g7, this would be more desirable. But it looks like bishop e7 is met by c4. So here, if I play this, c4 can be played. And the question is then, why is c4 possible here and not on bishop g7? So this is kind of what I want to check out. So c4, knight takes e5. Yeah, this is getting very sharp. I play knight e5 here. Yeah, this is quite sharp. So let me see if bishop g7. And they play c4. I want to see what the difference is, basically. I mean, maybe actually I can appreciate the fact that if we are taking on e5 in most of these lines, then maybe the bishop on g7 is better, right? It controls this like long diagonal. So let's have a look. Again, if my computer will load. If bishop g7, c4, what happens? I might lay off the engine a bit in a sec. Oh, so c4 is just really bad here. Yeah, unless white is prepped, this is going to be really, really difficult to find all of these ideas. So knight e5 is so good now, but not good, or not as good when we've played with bishop e7. So, I mean, I kind of get it, right? Like the bishop's just going to be on this diagonal, and it just looks way better than on e7 if the center's opening up like this. So I guess that makes sense. I'm going to see if I can click stop on the engine, and then make some moves over here. So what we're having, rook takes h5, knight e4 is this key move, and bishop g7, because bishop e7 is slightly dubious because of this c4 idea. But still, this is kind of tricky. I think it needs to be checked, and I will check it at a later point. Yeah, this whole line needs to be checked. It's very close to working though. I really like the spirit of it to play h5 here, because g4, it feels like you want to try and undermine it with h5. So it's definitely in the spirit. And I think I've had a quick look at this knight e7 in the past, and the idea is after knight f4 you want to play with h6. But that definitely doesn't feel like in the spirit. So if I can play h5, this would really be nice. Interesting to see. It has such good results at master level, so it's clear that like some masters are not understanding how to deal with this with the white pieces, which is very promising. Jabava played it with black. That's always a good sign. When Jabava's played an opening, it means like your creative juices are flowing, which is very good. I think, you know what, I'll give this a try and just see if I can freestyle it. I mean, I think this g6 move is a difficult move to find. But if you know it as an idea, then I think you can probably get there. And yeah, g6 is one line. And to be honest, I should probably understand, yeah, these bishop d3 moments, right? Because I don't think all players are going to take on c5 if they don't know what they're doing. Well, so knight c6 we're already doing well. Let me see if I've stopped the engine. I haven't. Wow, it'll only play it to visit this position with c4. I guess, like, yeah, not everyone's looking at the nuances of this bishop g7, bishop e7. But yeah, I think I'll go back to this later and check this out. Hi, I was trying to copy you and train every day, but I stopped. I want to train again, but do you have any schedule from openings, endgames, etc., or is it just tactics every day? Nice job, 94 days already. Thank you, Yahit. I'd say basically it hasn't been 94 days straight, to be honest. I have had a few days break. And normally I'd write like a community post on my YouTube channel just to say like, yeah, didn't get the time to train. But on the whole, I think I've only maybe skipped like 5 or 6 days out of these 94 days. Or even more now. Have I done more? Like, I feel like I'm already on like 97 or something, if I remember correctly. But in any case, doesn't matter. Yeah, what I do, I basically just train what I'm motivated to train. And I think this is really important because as soon as you like make something too rigid in terms of what you're training, if you're not feeling it that day, you can just like burn your motivation. And I mean, Dubov once said in an interview, and he goes even further than this. Dubov said he either trains 0 hours a day or 20 hours a day. And I really like this mindset of basically, you know, if you're in the kind of chess learning mode, then milk it and like get a lot out of it. But if you're not in the mood, then probably it's going to go in one ear and out the other, right? So this is why it's very important to train what you actually feel like training. And okay, like if you're actually keen to improve, then that will probably include some topics that you might not like. So for instance, this woodpecker method, I hate doing tactics, like I despise it. But I ultimately want to get better and get in shape for the summer. So this is why I'm then motivated to actually do woodpecker. But as you can see right now, I'm looking at openings and not looking at woodpecker because, you know, ultimately I do find this stuff more interesting. And if I've got a good excuse to train some openings and get better at it, then that's enough excuse to actually do it. So I think, you know, don't restrict yourself. But also, it's good to have a few things that you work on and then switch between them, because if it's too vague, then you may never grasp anything and never pick up a chess book. So maybe stick to like 2 or 3 resources, and that would be ideal, to be honest. I think for me, I've actually got too many chess resources that I'm bouncing between, and it's not as effective as it could have been if I just stuck to one thing. But yeah. Will you play in the English Championship? That's a very good question, Memento Mori. I will probably not. And the reason being is because, my god, like last year I played in the English Championships. I gained like 1 rating point, and I swear every round, there wasn't a single easy player in that tournament. Everyone was super good. And I think I scored like 3.5 out of 7. No, 3.5 out of 9. That sounds more like it. I think I scored 3.5 out of 9, and I got 1 win. But yeah, it was so tough. It was so tough. Like everyone I played was underrated, I felt like, and I think they genuinely are, because all of the players like I played, like they're now like 100 points higher rating, at least. Like all juniors. It was such a tough tournament, and I think basically I want to wait until the summer where I can really feel like relaxed and can really focus on the classical. So I think right now I'm gonna try and do a bit of chess, but I'm just gonna try and get as much training, as much practice, and then just really focus for those 2 weeks in the summer. I think that's gonna be my best bet. Because if I try and play like the English Championship while I've got other stuff going on, it's just gonna go horribly. Like these guys are so good. Like I'll be playing against players who are like basically just doing nothing but playing chess right now, and it's just gonna be really, really tough, I think. I also had a scenario actually last year where I played in Dortmund, and because it was a few weeks after the English Championship, I played a line of prep, and my opponent had just prepped me from start to finish. And literally this prep, like no one plays it, but I felt so smart for like preparing it in the Reti, and my opponent just knew that I was going to play it. And I mean, I did deviate from his preparation, but ultimately I then had a worse position, and yeah, he managed to play it out to the end and managed to win. But yeah, it was a shame that prep was revealed, because yeah, he wouldn't have had a clue otherwise. But yeah. I think in general, yeah, I think I'm quite happy with this. I feel like this feels easier for me to play. I kind of like it. If I can play this g6, like this is the point. Like what if they just play like some calm move? I don't know, bishop e3 even? No, that's probably even losing, right? Because I just take everything and then I just fork on f3. So this looks... can they never play a move like bishop g5? Is this not strong? Oh, I can always just take... Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Wait, so at this moment already, right? If they were to play bishop g5 here, this is like a huge blunder. It's really good to see. I'll get rid of the bishop d3 just to keep it a bit cleaner. But I can take this. Okay, that's a really important tactic. And this is completely winning. So basically, they have to take on c5 and not get baited by that tactic. This is why it's very important as well when you do preparation. You're not just following the top engine line, which I realize, you know, I probably have done that a bit too much recently. But you need to like still be thinking about what's the obvious moves in the position, because you want to be checking the obvious moves in your prep so that when they do come up in the game, and they will because they're like obvious looking moves, you can actually punish them. Because if you're trying to solve it over the board, you never know. You might miss the reason. Like, obviously, this one I would hope that in a real game I would spot this, right? But, you know, if it's a deeper kind of idea, you might miss it. So, it's quite important to check these things. But, you know, I think I'll just give this a go and see where it takes me. I like the idea of this h5. Without stacking the pawn h5, like, the complications in the main line are just so annoying. So annoying. And what's the difference of 0.4 difference between two moves? It's like, at my level, it's really not serious. So I think, like, to get my opponent out of book a bit more, I think this is really nice. Yeah, and I wanted to check as well this line where, yeah, they take on f5. I just put the bishop on f5 and there's nothing here. Literally nothing here. How am I winning back the pawn? Let me just check this real quick. So this is... no, this was instead of taking on g6, if they take on h5. I was just playing bishop f5. I guess this is the thing, like, I'm a pawn down, but if there's no good way to exploit that extra pawn, like, you know, ultimately they're doubled pawns. My control over the h6 square, my g7 pawn are very good with the bishop, and my rook, of course. So, kind of makes sense how this might not be anything significant here. Yeah, if bishop d3, I'd be very happy, just chop it and play knight f5. Bishop e3, I can still play c5, interesting. Let's look at this line. This looks somewhat critical. So bishop e3, if my computer will load. Okay, and this has been visited 300 times, so I'm not, like, crazy for looking at this stuff. c5. Aha, knight b5. But I guess knight ec6 would be the way to deal with that, so you have control over the d6 square. Yeah, okay, knight ec6, very good. And if they take on c5, they take on e5 again. Yeah, looks interesting. Looks interesting. This is the kind of position that I think I could find some good moves. Is like imbalanced, but not like, you know, involving like checkmate. Or passed pawns. Checkmate and passed pawns are always the most critical moves where intuitive players can get banned. So, yeah, knight ec6 here. And this is just a game. I'm really surprised knight d7 is possible. Like, what happens if knight d6? I mean, knight e5 looks more normal. Wow, knight d7 top move, and we're the only one visiting the position this far. Interesting. How important would you say opening prep is, especially around 2000 FIDE? I think it really depends what your strengths and weaknesses are. If you feel like you can get by without opening theory, then obviously that's better. And I do know some players who can do that. But yeah, it depends what style of chess you're going for. Like, in some openings, it's going to be more important than others. Like, to be honest, if I didn't do any prep and I spent all this time, let's say, doing calculation exercises and training my defense, training my attack, I'd probably benefit more from that. But the thing is, it's like, again, to do with like this motivation and energy, like to really make progress with calculation, you really need to be properly trying and treating it like a real game. And that kind of ability to just energize yourself and do that, that's really draining. I don't have the energy or the motivation to do that. So, I mean, it's better to do something than nothing, right? So that's basically where we are. And I feel like also having good opening prep gives me a lot of confidence as well. Like, it means that, yeah, like, not only does that confidence reflect in my openings, but it also reflects in my play. So I think, like, yeah, it's not so much the prep really, but what it can do psychologically, I think, for me personally, is the best thing. Very interesting. So, okay, actually, knight d6 is probably just terrible. Takes. Oh my god, take on c5? Oh, because we've got queen a5? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll try and stop this engine before I go to Lichess. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, if you play like Sicilian Kid, what you do, Arjun, like you're gonna definitely prep is gonna be more important because like if you get like a sharp position and your opponent knows like stockfish moves, you're just gonna get wrecked. So quite happy I found all of the opening moves myself until 95 in yesterday's Blitz game. Yeah, exactly. This was really nice. Yeah, that was cool. I think I was complimenting you during the stream. I was like, damn, Lucas remembers all the moves. Fury's not as bad as people make out to be. I mean, it depends, right? Like if you take shortcuts and play like sidelines within the Sicilian or sidelines within the kit, then you can definitely narrow it. But if you're trying to play objectively, then it will get. I think there's no way to avoid like the theory. It's like super deep. And that's the question, right? Like if you're gonna play sidelines within a main line that gives up on objectivity, then what's to say not playing some sidelines in a sideline opening, right? But I do understand the benefits of playing sidelines within a main line because then if you ever do switch to playing like the main line of the main line, then it's probably an easier switch. So there is this to kind of fall back on. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a real tough one. I mean, you know, let's say with Gurgen it's a modern, like the Caro-Kann is somewhat related. Like these structures that we're getting right here, for instance, like they're feeling very natural. Um, Bishop e3, c5, and then I think it was knight b5, and then I had to go here and make it come here, and then I was even playing knight d7, and this was like some interesting line because I can even take here, and this can't happen because of queen a5. Yeah, this is then better for black. Okay, we should put some evaluations at the end of this. So this would be, so this queen takes h4 is inaccurate. This bishop takes c5 is inaccurate. And bishop g7 was correct. Yeah, this knight e4. This needs further research, I think. But yeah, already a very interesting position, and the fact that the knight is coming back to f5 very soon, it's also very promising. And what is knight d6 is just completely rubbish. King f8, and apparently you're doing fine, but you're going to take on e5. That's really interesting. And I guess knight f5 is coming soon to challenge the knight. That kind of all makes sense. Yeah, I'll just put the unclear for now, and we'll save it there. I think that's a really good prep. So I think, what should we finish on? I think let's finish on like maybe a couple games. I'll just play some 3+2 on my ult, and we'll see if we get any Caro-Kann. I realize I'm not playing enough. Okay, we're getting a reverse Caro-Kann. Oh, we're getting a classical. This is good. Yeah, against in the classical reversed, I feel like I can just play like the main lines and it's really good. So always meet knight f6 with knight d2. We got to cover this e4 square. Don't allow the knight in here. But this is what I'm advocating for in my c3 Venom. And you can see that my 2400 opponent is already like slowing down. Can I play against you? Arjun? Yeah, sure. I don't think we've played, right? We can play after this game. Kid and Sicilian have two easiest prep openings. I mean prep against them. Right, because yeah, there are so many ways you can play. You can really prep something mean. I kind of agree with that. I mean, I got so many wins in the Wing Gambit. Like, it was such a killer. Yeah, my opponent's already gone out of book here. C6 is definitely not so ambitious. Yeah, and probably he hasn't realized he's in a classical, otherwise he'd probably play like this. Wow, okay. Knight h5. Maybe I should have played knight f3 so soon. But this is also fine. I'm thinking, do I want the bishop on d3 maybe in these positions? Let's actually put the bishop on d3. I think the bishop's better here. we'll wait for them to take back with the h pawn, play queen c2, and maybe castle queenside even. Like this is a way to play against these kind of like lines to try and win our bishop. So I've seen these ideas before. Let's go queen c2 even. I don't think there's something happening here anytime soon. The annoying thing is though that bishop f5 normally provokes them to have to take the bishop immediately. So I don't really want to have to castle right now. But I don't think I've got a choice. I think let's just do it. Because I don't think black can really go queenside with all of this. Maybe he can though. Maybe he'll take here. Maybe knight d4 now feels really strong. Let's play it. I can also play some improving moves like king b1. I feel like that should be improving. Okay, so now they take, and yeah, they're gonna castle queenside, but that's okay. Oh, they don't. Interesting. I mean, taking on e6 feels really good. Although they can take with check, we take back. That seems good, actually. I think we can do this. I think we win a pawn. If they take the bishop. So they've taken this way. Now we definitely could consider taking a pawn. Our rooks are linked, so we're not going to have trouble there. And you see how easy it is to beat a 2400? Or at least get an advantage out the opening. Just play 1c3. It's such a good opening. But okay. Having made such bold statements, I shouldn't blunder this. So, is rook h7 or bishop h7 better? Bishop h7, probably a castle queenside. Oh, can I even throw in bishop g6? No, because knight takes. Yeah, that wouldn't work. So maybe rook h7. But then they can castle queenside anyway. But then I play rook h1. Yeah, I kind of like having a rook on here. But then they can take bishop takes. I don't know. Oh, we've wasted... Oh, why did we waste so much time on this move? That's really annoying. That's really annoying. Like, I shouldn't be wasting, like, I don't know. I spent, like... Oh, it doesn't say. Okay. Yeah, we spent way too long. Crap, I missed bishop g6. Bishop g6 would have been such a nice finesse. Oh, well. So what now? Knight f3 feels good. Because if knight g4, we can always play knight d4, and we've got tabs on this pawn. I basically want to put a bit more pressure here, maybe block up this bishop. This feels good. Let's put a knight on d4 anyway. Or is that going to be too much pressure here? Maybe bishop g6 now is also nice. Let's play it. I see he's got like some ideas of sacking, but I don't think it's going to be worth the two pieces. I think I'm more concerned about my king. Like, it's on a dark square. They've got this dark squared bishop. Even his queen could be potentially looming in some cases. So, yeah, let's both get a little bit safe. My idea is also to play bishop h5 to potentially try and like get a knight onto this square. Maybe I could have done that just now. Also, Arjun, I'd seriously consider getting an ult that doesn't have your name in the title, because if you do get serious in playing like tournaments and stuff, people will definitely prep your Lichess. So unless you're willing to turn it into an account where you're not playing your prep, then it's probably a bad idea. Can we get away with that? Maybe queen f5 even? No. Let's play this. Probably knight f6 is coming, but this was my idea. Don't mind giving up this bishop pair, actually. Probably want to save. I think I wanna save my bishop. Oh, okay. Oh, that's very annoying. Oh god, that's really annoying. Oh my god. Okay, I'm panicking. That's a real panic move. That's a horrendous move. That's a horrendous move. No, we have completely bottled this. And this is what I mean about needing to play more, because I'm not playing well right now. But okay, we've got some swindling chance. Oh, crap. I even flagged. That's actually horrendous. I could not handle that increment at all. That just went down so fast for me. Holy crap. Like, for sure I've got an advantage here. I just couldn't... I just didn't have a plan. I just wasn't thinking. I went the pawn up and just wasn't thinking. So I think here, firstly, I should have played bishop g6. I want to analyze this game first, Arjun. But yeah, I should have played bishop g6. Maybe the king's a bit weaker on d7. Really poor. Really poor game. Like, after winning this pawn, like, okay, it's not even a big advantage. But I should have done better than what I did. Like, it was really poor. Wow, bishop e3 is good. I mean, I was thinking like this kind of idea, but queen fine. And yeah, this was a tricky move to deal with. This was tough. But queen f3 is just horrendous. It didn't deal with. Yeah, knight. I should be thinking, okay, this is the real problem, right? So just stop it. Like it's so simple. I wanted to play bishop f3. That was my plan, to reroute my bishop, but then this is the problem, right? But yeah, here I should really find better. But yeah, this is what I mean about like being like out of form and slow. Like, it's really slow with my brain. And I had a move here. Just play e4, right? Of course. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Just not being able to see stuff. I mean, I think the opening went well. Like, probably I could have improved in places. Like here, maybe bishop e2 first, but yeah, it's knight f5 is kind of annoying. So maybe stick with improving the bishop first. Yeah, but this was also fine. I think this is just a very interesting position. Knight b3. Oh, and bishop was slightly better here. It's really tough to say. So they castle, knight f3. Yeah, knight f3. Yeah, but this is the problem, right? Just not playing well. Okay, Arjun, let's play. Let's have a game. Okay. Oh, look at that blitz tilt. Aye. We'll see who's more tilted. Okay, good luck. Okay, at least Arjun can blame his internet. I guess this... Oh, you just... Okay, let's... I want to play with black. Let's practice. I mean, Arjun's been watching my streams. Oh, he just plays... he plays Panov. Interesting. So I think... Let's go for knight c6. Let's scare the Panov player. So he plays knight c3, which means I can play e5. And I doubt Arjun has seen this before. So when they take with the pawn on d5, I should take with the knight. It's my little rule. They take with pawn, I take with knight. If they take with knight, I take with pawn. And I think I had 2 different moves here. I'm even considering this. That doesn't look so bad. I think bishop c5 was the main move. I can't quite remember. I think there are 2 different moves that worked. Inappropriate late stream as usual. Exactly, Jan. Yeah, too many things going on today. But that's fine. What is that? Can I just trade everything? I guess he's got this pawn on d5, and it's a real question if it's a strength or a weakness. I mean, you want to trade when it's an isolated pawn, but you also want to keep pieces on when it's a pass pawn, so that's kind of contradictory. No, I think bishop g4 was the move here. I think bishop g4 was like only move. I've actually studied this position in the past. Oh, and a crazy thing in this position, knight takes. I think knight takes. I mean, if Arjun's watching, then fair enough. But I think knight takes d4 is like top move. I think knight takes d4 might already be like getting to like only move to not lose the advantage, and yeah, it's crazy. This position is absolutely crazy, and it's like really rare. This e5 line. Why am I hiding my face in a tiny window? Because I was using chess face earlier and I forgot to change it. Okay, so now I'm out of book. So my gut feeling is to play king f8. I don't know if that's a good gut feeling. Probably not, actually. I should probably play bishop d7 because now he's out of a pin, right? So probably bishop d7 makes sense. But then queen c4, and how am I... guess I've got some ideas there. I think bishop d7 makes sense. We want to keep up the initiative by counter-attacking this queen. I wonder if queen d1, bishop g4 is just a repetition. Or maybe I can argue that I've improved my position with bishop d7, and I've got like another way to play. Yeah, so maybe we can repeat once. Let's repeat once, and then we'll have a think what to do. So queen a4, bishop d7, queen back to d1, and then what will we play? Arjun switches it up. Maybe that's a better move, but I can take that piece. I wonder how that goes. Feel like I want that bishop. Something's almost not working here. Go on, let's take it. I don't know if he'll take on c5. He does. Maybe takes on c3, and then just like develop knight f6. I think this looks very good. So queen d7. Oh, he's gonna win e5. That's really annoying. Okay, I guess I can always take with the knight. Probably have to. And again, getting very low on time. But at least this is like a slightly easier position to play. I'm still disappointed in how I played that last position. It was just so poor. Like that last game. Just completely collapsed under time pressure. This feels kind of good for me though. Yeah, I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to be very greedy. I mean, that pawn could be extremely annoying in the future, so I think it was good to get rid of. Let's be even more greedy. It gains a tempo, and I can always block. So that's my thinking. Like, you never know if that extra pawn will be useful. My feeling is to play g6 here. Can I get away with that? If I can trade off that dark squared bishop, I should just be a clean pawn now. Let's be greedy and try and hang on to everything. Can I still castle? I can. Okay, we need to speed up a bit, but I probably don't want to castle here, right? But what's our plan? Well, let's double for starters. So we're a pawn up. He's got a pass pawn though. But we're going to be 2 pawns up. Let's do that. It's a little bit risky, but I think it's good. This is fine. Let's try and keep hold of everything we can. Let's head back over this way. Let's defend it for now. Let's see if we can think of another solution. Okay, let's take it, whatever. I like the rook on this square more though, so that's why I think it was good. Very important we keep this pawn if we want some winning chances. Wow. Let's not risk it. That's not a winning pawn in game, I think. We definitely want to keep this king cut off. I feel like this should be winning. This should just be simple Lucena technique. The question is, can I do it with 6 seconds? What am I doing here? These side checks are very annoying. Oh wow, have I messed this up? Unbelievable, I've messed this up? How did I mess this up? This should be an easy endgame. I completely messed this up. That's so bad. I'm trying to think what I did wrong, or maybe it's just a draw. Yeah, I'm trying to think at what moment. I'm playing this on for good measure. You should always try and grind a little bit. See if you can catch them out. Okay. We can try one more trick. Maybe. I could play this for days. That's the thing. How can I trick Arjun Ray? Not possible. Yeah, GG Arjun. Managed to save that. Yo, I'm pissed for the challengers. Skibidi Chess. I think Skibidi Chess is a fair name. I think it's good. It's a good brand. But why are you pissed, Safsara, for the challenges? I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I have over the ball tournament in Krefeld. I've never heard of Krefeld. I didn't even know you could even blunder rook versus rook. It's possible. You could like get your rook skewered, right? Arjun wants a rematch. Let's save it for next time. Oh, we're getting all the challenges now. We're getting all the challenges. How do we do this fairly? Safsara or Lucas? What a rematch! Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. Go on, let's play a rematch, and then I'll play one game against Lucas, one game against Safsara, and then we'll call it a day. Call it a day, man. I also want to check in on that last game actually, though. I want to check the last game. We'll look at this afterwards. It's important to analyze. No, I'm annotated. I guess that was annoyed. Wait an hour and do nothing? What? Again, Safsara, you confuse me. You genuinely confuse me. What are you talking about? Why do I have to ask you what are you talking about every stream, Safsara? What are you talking about? I think you expect me to just understand your context, and I have nothing. Tell your pupils to go to bed. Oh, it's kind of late. 11:26. What's your bedtime, Safsara? I feel like your bedtime's worse than mine, though. So. I'm annoyed I didn't convert that endgame. But, what to do? I refuse to believe like this position is genuinely equal. I feel like white's always squeezing here. Okay, how to deal with this? Let's play queen b3. Oh, right. In county championships. Oh, I even used a British word? Yeah, I didn't even bat an eyelid. See, we're thinking about the eyes. I always find this move annoying because it's like... It's a bad move, but it's like practically decent. So, it's a little bit annoying, but it should be good for me. Okay, that's kind of smart. Maybe I should have played bishop h2 earlier. Is it that smart though? Take. Maybe it kind of is. Go on. You can have your fun, Arjun. You can have your fun. Here's a pawn. All for you. All for you. This is my idea. Uh-huh. question is, do I have something nice now? I need to keep some tabs on my b2 pawn. Let's play with this. $32 is like a classical game. Oh, 3-2. Right. Yeah, no wonder I'm struggling. Also, I don't count myself as a pupil, more of a hindrance to Michael's chess coaching. Ah, you're not bad. No, you actually are very disruptive, Sapsara. I take it all back. Imagine playing the Leech's Marathon during my lesson. Unbelievable. I actually don't think your mum has paid me though, so I need to chase her up. You've been getting free lessons. Ah, it looks so wrong. What's the win? I mean, obviously I can't win the pawn back just yet, but there's definitely like a win. Such a dodgy move. Do we give the pass pawn though? That's the question to me. Yeah, sure. I think this is a strong move. Unless I've missed some subtle detail, which I can easily believe I have. I think this looks good. Technically, oh, well, here we go. Here we go. How much do you charge? Is it a group lesson? I'm gonna keep the payments and details to myself. Because, for various reasons. But it's a good question. It's a good question. I mean, I think it's very affordable. Extremely affordable. She uses your money to pay? Oh, nice. That's very smart. Ah, does she use like your chess tournament winnings? I remember I would like win money for chess tournaments, and then that money would just disappear. It just goes straight to my parents. I just never see it again. Sapsara, you just said "and technically" and didn't follow up with any statement. Like, I genuinely don't know what to say. So, okay, I can take on d3, they take on b2. Is that the point or what? I don't get it. Maybe that's, like, somewhat annoying. Oh, I'm getting low on time again. Let's just take this. Let's just take this. I think this is fine. And the question is, will he take on b2? He doesn't. Oh, interesting. Well, then let's just support the knight some more. I think he should have taken on b2. Seems like a free pawn to me. He still can, but no way is he going to admit his mistake. That would be a very... very brave. What is that? That's just surely not a good move. Let's try it. I don't know. We've done like 20 days of woodpecker method. Let's see if this is actually a tactic. I mean, I had a quick skim to see if there were any in-between moves. I didn't see one. But yeah, what are you doing putting your queen on the line of my bishop? So risky. So risky. I don't even need the queen. I will take that rook. I think that's good enough. I hit the bishop as well. Let's keep hitting the bishop. Oh, I missed an easy fork, which just wins. I literally missed knight e7. That's kind of bad. But okay, this is a winning resulting position. So GG Arjun, but yeah, never ever. I guess you forgot that my bishop was lurking on h2. I guess that must have been it. It wasn't just like you saw my bishop and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna put my queen on on c7. But okay, let's go, Lucas. Actually, I wanted to very quickly check this endgame against Arjun, where I managed to lose. But yeah, good game, good game. Wow, this is just a draw. I messed this up. I messed this up. So what? Around here, I've got like some kind. I'm lost here. Ah, I hate passed pawns with a passion. I'm lost here. Rook c7. Oh, of course. The two rooks on the 7th are just really strong with an extra passed pawn. Holy crap. Oh, man. That's so sad. I literally got a worse position here. That's unbelievable. Oh, and I'm just winning after king d7. Yeah, if only I could see these tactics. If only. If only. Oh god, that's so much wrong with this game. Yeah, and I guess to go after h2, maybe I should have more respect for the c pawn. To be honest, maybe I should have more respect for it. Yeah, I did become very strong, very fast. So maybe I had to deal with that some way. But even a move like this isn't good, apparently. Oh, okay, it's kind of good. Can I actually try and attack it or not? Because my 7th rank is weak, right? So, this is rook c4. What does that do? I already have to be quite careful. I don't know. Maybe my king doesn't even belong on e7. Maybe it kind of belongs over here. Ah, endgames are so hard. They're so hard. Yeah, I mean, I should be more smart about allowing this passed pawn. But okay, with one less pair of rooks, then I think I'm doing slightly better. This was like an advantage, and then I let it all slip. So what was I supposed to do to convert this? Rook c4? Lucas, yeah, we'll definitely play. I just want to check this. I'm just very confused. How do I actually make progress here? These pawns can run a bit further by themselves. Okay, but then what? And e4 as well. Then I can play with f5. I can even take... So these pawns can actually push by itself. So I should have had more faith in the majority. Right. Right. I should have had more faith in this pawn mass. Maybe if they don't go back with their king, can they actually come forward like here and defend this pawn? G4 again. Yeah, such a strong move. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Okay, very nice. What's that username? As in GM Boncloud. Or hello Chess Diary. Welcome, welcome. It cancels the challenge automatically. Oh, we're gonna get a Reti? What should I play here? Let's play knight f6. b3. Okay. We'll play some reverse c3 Venom. This is just reverse c3 Venom. I'm very happy with this position. Probably rook e8 first. Okay, now we trade once the knight is a bit misplaced. I don't have a good discovery, I think, unfortunately. And I see Lucas is going for all out on speed. Probably a smart idea. Let's just play some improving moves. I don't really know what they're doing. Maybe at some point I'll come up with a plan, but we can take our time. There's no rush. This is the lazy man chess. You basically just chill out and wait for Lucas to blunder. That's the plan. Let's put the queen on a6. I think the queen is good here. Can you make a living off of chess coaching? Yeah, that's my situation now, actually. I get most of my money. I have a tiny bit coming in from Patreon, and a tiny bit, well, not even coming in from like some chess trips that I'm organizing. So like I try and organize some chess trips for my students. It's making a loss though, so that's kind of sad, but it'll be good fun. It'll be good fun. So yeah, chess coaching all the way. But it is sad though, because I mean it's lucky for me in a way that I have the skills to coach, because I do feel like I am a good teacher. But for people who are like quite introverted and just good chess players, it kind of sucks that they have to resort to coaching if it's not something they enjoy. How do I want to capture here? Maybe this way. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that you can't. I mean, this has been like all of the rage on Twitter recently about like, you know, top players not being able to make a living from playing chess. But yeah, it's really tough. I'm gonna play a really ugly move here. I'm gonna play f6. I think given the fact that he's got a dark squared bishop, and he doesn't have any light squared bishop, no queens, I feel like we can get away with this and actually improve our king. I think this is like makes some sense to me. Let's put our king on f7. I mean, this square is extremely weak, but I don't see how it gets exploited right now. You're gonna call it a day, Safsara? Fair enough. Have a good night. Did we get a game? We didn't get a game. I'm so sorry. If I knew you were gonna go to bed first, then I would have sent you a challenge. Okay, I really need to not get low on time as well. So let's make a call about this. Let's take and play with e5. I think this makes a lot of sense. Restrict this bishop, restrict this knight, and then reroute my pieces in a way that makes sense. I also feel like rook d1 was slightly a mistake. Probably like Lucas should double on the d file instead. So let's see if he admits his mistake and plays like a move like rook d2, but he doesn't. And now we're going to reroute our knight to somewhere better. And try and improve our position a bit. Let's do this. Okay, and here comes the grind. Again, I feel like I've got a slightly better position. That's an interesting move. There is no way I flagged there. Oh, I'm so slow. Oh, I can't believe I lost. I can't believe I lost. I was debating for a split second whether I should take on f4 first before playing knight d5 or play knight d5 immediately. Oh, I hate my life. I hate my life. I can't believe I flagged there. But this is what I mean. I'm playing so slowly. I'm playing so slowly right now. It's actually such a shame. Probably doesn't even make a difference. They're probably both winning. Oh, it does make a difference. I was trying to think which one works, and I guess I should just do this because this is just safer, right? Like you've got this pressure. Like whereas, you know, if you play knight d5, then you've got to deal with the fact that f takes e5 is possible. Yeah, I mean, you're playing fast. It worked. It worked. It worked, Lucas. God damn. But I did feel good. I did feel good going into this endgame. I felt like I had a slight edge, and I think had you doubled on the d file, I think this would be a little bit more annoying for me. I'd have to be a bit more careful. But by playing rook d1, I kind of felt like I could get all my pieces to good squares. Yeah, and had I just moved a bit faster instead of flagging, I think this is definitely a grindable position. Would have been interesting. Too weak, too slow. Too weak, too slow. And I think just like Skibidi Chess, I'm going to call it a day. Bring out the financial spreadsheets, Michael. Can't believe you lost to 1600. Probably my Ponziani Ghost. This is going to be one of my my worst losses. Let's have a look. Are you? Is there not worst rated loss? I swear that's a thing. Maybe they got rid of it. I think you had like worst rated losses as well. Which I kind of like the fact that they got rid of it, because it's like, why would you include your worst rated losses? Like, you don't want to know that. You just want to look on the positives, right? Look at the best wins. Oh, I've got some. I don't have any. I mean, I do have some Grandmaster scalps. They're just not on the top list, which is a shame. But yeah. It's not rated. But okay, even if it was rated, I don't think it would come up here. I think they've changed the layout. They no longer show lowest rated losses. They removed it. Yeah, that's nice. I'm glad. it's such a stain on the Lichess profile. You don't want it to show. But yeah, basically I need to get better. I mean, we've oh my god, 4 losses today, 1 win, 1 draw. That's pretty awful. That's pretty damn awful. But yeah, basically you gotta get a bit sharper, more confidence in time scrambles. And it's not rated, don't wanna farm your rating. Honestly, it's my alt account. I wouldn't care. But GM Boncloud, what are you doing? Why aren't you improving, playing any rated chess? You need to make sure you keep playing. But okay, guys, on that note, I'm going to call it a day. So thank you guys all for tuning in. And I'm glad we actually got somewhere with the Shirov Gambit. I will definitely look into this a bit more. And okay, see you guys tomorrow. Adios.